ខាសាលាជាថ្មីបន្តទៅនេះដល់បទបង្ហាញទី6ដោយយោងទៅលើជាតិចាំបាច់បទបង្ហាញទី6នេះដោយពីអតិភិបសម្រាប់ការចាប់ផ្ដើមអនុវត្តគម្រោងនិងផែនការសកម្មភាពគម្រោងត្រូវបដូរទៅជាបទបង្ហាញថ្មីគឺ Road Asset Management ហើយនិង Performance Based Contract ដែលនឹងបង្ហាញដោយលោកសម្បត្តិសុទ្ធិវង្សជំនាញការជាន់ខ្ពស់ផ្នែកហេដ្ឋារចនាសម្ព័ន្ធពីធនាគារពិភពលោកដូច្នេះសូមអធិស្ឋានពីអាដាមលោកស្រីដែរអញ្ចឹងសូមបកគោលនីតិនេះជូនលោកសម្បត្តិបាទសូមអញ្ជើញ
សុខសប្បាយ Good afternoon everyone. So I hope you have full of energy after lunch. So my topic is about road asset management. As you all aware that every country, including Europe and developing countries, always facing budget constraints. We spend a lot of money to build the road, but we do not have enough money to maintain the road. It is actually costly to the country. Firstly, because the road asset without maintenance is deteriorated. Secondly, it also costs to the road user because the road condition is deteriorated. You spend more time to travel and also vehicle operating costs also high. Right? So in that context, I would like to share with you what we have done in Laos with support from World Bank. Actually, World Bank support road sector in many countries. Road asset management is a key aspect that we bring in. Apart from helping the country to build, to maintain the road, more important than that is about how to put in place the system, the framework and the capacity for the country to go beyond the project. So I wanted to share with you what we have done in Laos. It's relevant to what we are doing here under this project. The presentation will include road asset management. It is about a system for planning and prioritization of national road. Second, it's about provincial road management system and data collection, analysis, procedures, output, and some examples. Here, what I start with, neglecting maintenance. You can see that the roughness actually is indicator to measure the road condition. In adequate maintenance, the roughness will be increased, right? And the life cycle of road also shortened. So this is actually normally if you build a road for DBSP, you design the road for 20 years with proper credit maintenance, right? But without proper maintenance, instead of doing credit maintenance of every 7 or 8 years, maybe you need to do every 5 years. That is very costly. Actually, this just show the life cycle analysis. So why we need to have road asset management? Because we want to prolong life cycle so that we can save the budget of the country, right? So the RMS. So what has been done in Cambodia is ADB support already analyze and review the context of Cambodia and system. Part of the system already in place, but it's not sufficient to analyze the planning and prioritization. So what they have done in Laos is that you can this is about the database for road and bridge. It will include road inventory, bridge inventory, including alignment, length, width, service time. This already exists in the MID. Similarly to bridge location, bridge time, and other elements. But what is missing in the MID inventory database is the road condition, the surface condition, the last date, access constraint, and also bridge condition. Without this condition and also traffic, it's very difficult. Or you cannot do analysis of the need, right? The planning, the prioritization. So that's what we would like to help under this project. Of course, we need to coordinate with other donors. We also learned that ADB is also do something. And then the main module of ARM is including data entry. You need to collect the data and then need to entry data to the system to be a database, and then traffic monitoring system, bridge management system, pavement management system, reporting, and the system is also designed a way to get GIS data. In Laos, they divide the road network into two parts for national roads under administration of Ministry of Public Works and Transport. For local road, including provincial, district, and rural roads, managed by provincial offices, but they also report to Ministry, and they also get technical support from Ministry. So the provincial road management system less complicated compared to road management system. In terms of data, you can see that the administrative data like section, length, width, and services similarly to RMS, and but the road condition, the data of road condition actually based on visual inspection. Unlike RMS need to use technology like to measure the last net index because the network for local roads is very large, so it's not, the country could not afford to hire consultants to apply very sophisticated method to collect the data. And the module for analysis also less complicated compared to RMS. Here just data entry, database maintenance programming, and reporting. Actually, provincial road management system more relevant to the road that we are talking under administration of MID here. Data collection, how they collect the data. For the national road, Ministry hire a consultant to collect the data. Not all data are collected at this, every year. Actually, some data can be of every 5 years, some data can be 2 years, some data need to be collected every year. And for the local road, is the provincial authority who conduct the data based on the visual inspection. It's quite costly to collect the data. In order to get the system running, there is a need budget. So there is a need to make sure that the ministry allocate budget not just for 1 year during the project, but it should be in annual work plan and budget. So here just an example of budget required for data collection to run road management system in Laos. So after receiving data, the system can help to analyze the data by reviewing all parameters and unit cost, and also look at the select road network. But you know, even road in one section, you may see the different condition from link to link, right? So there's a need to divide the road into different links, so that link can represent homogeneous characteristic, right? And the system can also help to analyze the need of budget for maintenance based on unconstrained budget and also constrained budget. We know that every country facing budget constraint. So you can come up like 30%. In case you have budget for 30%, what is the need? What is the priority? And output. The system can help ministry with a 10-year expenditure. Why you need 10-year expenditure? It is very important for the sector to, when the country prepare the 5-year economic development plan, right? Country also need to aware of because we know that road is a prerequisite for other development. Without functioning road is very difficult, particularly rural road serving rural people. If the road is cut off and in poor condition, we cannot provide services to health, to education, and other services. So this is we give the big picture at a national level that how much budget required for road network in the big picture, right? 10 years. And then the system can also tell 3-year rolling plan and also annual work plan that how much budget needed during 3-year and annual. So with budget constraint, the system can tell that, okay, with this budget constraint, how much we should allocate this budget to different roads, how many roads that we can implement it during the year, aiming at to preserve the road network, not just particular section. The result can include filterable result like what different type of work, right? Can be like the budget need for construction, budget need for rehabilitation, budget need for routine maintenance, periodic maintenance, for bridges, for roads, and also other information that I can show you later in the presentation. And the good thing is also annual road asset report. You know, when government allocate budget, the parliament, the National Assembly may ask where is money, how money is spent. So the system can tell that how money is spent by showing the condition of the road. If you spend money, you can compare between year to year. And if you spend more money this year compared to last year and the road condition worse, so people will ask where is the value for money. So actually this system can inform policy maker and also public. The annual asset report can be generated through the system. To summarize how the system works, you can see that for the National Road Ministry, hire consultant to collect the data, and then the data enter to the system. System will be analyzed and produce the strategic expenditure, and then Ministry will work with Ministry of Economic and find out how much budget available. When they know budget available, then allocate to different roads through annual work plan, and then implement it for national road. For the provincial road on the right hand side, also similar, but the difference is that it is the provincial authority who collect the data. They don't hire consultant, and then system can be, the data will be sent to the ministry. Ministry will analyze and then allocate the block grant to the different provinces. Based on the block grant, the provinces will prioritize and then prepare another plan and implement it. So to implement this, actually you cannot do with the project arrangement. You need to implement it through the structure of the ministry, of the department, because it involves many agencies. And it's not just only a project activity. It will be part of the ministry in terms of planning, prioritization, and budgeting, right? So in Lao context, they involve many agencies, and they actually make clear role and responsibility for different activities. Like for national road here, ministry they hire consultant. So during October to November, consultant will be recruited to collect the data for national roads. And then December to February, consultant go to the field, collect the data. For the local road, provincial authority start to collect the data. And then after they finish, in February, the data sent to ministry to consolidate, and then the data is used to analyze and generate the total need for medium-term and long-term expenditure, 3-year plan and 3-year plan for road, bridge, local road, and then also based on that allocate budget to annually. And then implement. So this is just summary of the time, actually activity, responsibility, time bound. This is just an example of the result. You can see that the in Laos we have 18 provinces. So government have to allocate budget to different provinces without system. Each province will ask why I get less money, why you get more money. It becomes political issue, right? So you need a system to explain to people that you get this budget based on the system, based on the data, on the evidence. This will help to minimize the debate, right? And it can tell how much budget for each province in different year. It can tell like 10 years. And this is an example. You see the initial period, but the country needs a lot of budget because large portion of the roads in poor condition, similar to here in Cambodia, more than 80% in poor condition. So in order to maintain this road in good condition, you need to allocate a large chunk of money in initial period, right, to improve it, to make it maintainable, right? After maintainable, and then after you done that, you just spend the level of expenditure can be lower to maintain the condition. But this is unconstrained. Normally you cannot do like this because the country could not afford to allocate large budget during the initial period. So meaning that this will continue to be high. And also here, it can also tell a different time of, you see the different color represent need for different time of work, like bridge, gravel, rehabilitation, and overlay. The table, this table shows different activity, break down the budget to different activity. As I explained here, you have different year and different time of work, right? Like road, repair, bridge, periodic maintenance, overlay. This is the table. Okay. So it can tell that how much each activity needed in order to reach the optimum level of budget allocation to preserve the road asset. The system generated statistics can tell the public the length of different road. You already have this. Everybody already have this data. With the current system, and also can tell that the percentage of different road network, different category of road network, and yeah. This is showing paved, unpaved, and different category of road. The interesting thing is it tells the public and decision maker that how is the road condition look like, right? So you can see that the red one is the excellent, and then the green one is fail, meaning that you cannot use the road. You have to reconstruct in order to use the road. So this very important information for provinces and MRD to use as a basis to discuss with Ministry of Economy that this is the condition of the road. If you want to provide service to people, you need Ministry of Economy should allocate more budget to MRD and provinces, right? So then you have evidence that you can show the government. And here, in case of Laos, they need over 10 years. Next 10 years, they need something like more than 1,000 million US dollars because the road network is large and poor condition. And as I mentioned, the initial period, they need more budget. But this is not it's not the real scenario because the country could not afford with this large investment. This also interesting in a way that if the lower line can show that actually if there's not enough, if there is enough budget, the rough net index is the indicator to show the road condition. The lower rough net index, the better road condition is. So if you don't have problem with budget constraint, the road will be better and better, or at least at the limit maintain the same level. But if government allocate inadequate budget, right? So the road will be deteriorated over time. For example, the top line is if there's only 40% of budget available, road will be deteriorated. This just GPS to show the road and thank you. So that's I wanted to say that how important road asset management, right? So we every provinces and ministry always say that okay, we don't have enough budget, but Ministry of Economy and Government would like to know, tell me and show me evidence that what is your road condition look like and how much budget you need in order to keep the entire road network in good condition. And we know that now the country experience and increasingly climate change impact, right? And more storm coming, more typhoon. If the road cannot be maintained properly, the road will be cut off. We cannot access to people, and we cannot help to alleviate the poverty. So this is very important instrument for the ministry to inform the government and also for the ministry to use for its own planning and monitoring. Thank you. Vesna have something to add, please. You have a?
I have my presentation.
Oh, you have it. You have presentation. So Vesna, you have the presentation or not?
Yes, I will.
Okay, very good. Okay, Vesna will talk a little bit on also road asset management. While Vesna working on that, do you have any comment, any questions, or you want to discuss, to raise, or I know that MRD has put a lot of effort to improve road asset management, but currently the database cover only administrative data, do not include road condition data. So if you don't have road condition data, you cannot analyze the need. You don't know how much budget needed for over 10 years, and you cannot plan for medium term like 3 year and annual plan, and you don't know how to allocate the budget to optimally use limited budget. This is very critical. All country has the system. Under ABRM, we have that component. We will coordinate with ADB and see what ADB will already cover, and if not, then we help to go on it. Please now.
សិនទីសម្បត្តិជំរាបសួរអាដាមលោកស្រីមានវត្តមានទីនេះឥឡូវយើងបានស្ដាប់អំពីបទពិសោធន៍នៅប្រទេសឡាវហើយឃើញថាមានផលិតកម្មច្រើនសម្រាប់ការងាររបស់យើងនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាជាពិសេសទាក់ទងទៅនឹងរឿងការគ្រប់គ្រងសម្បត្តិផ្លូវថ្នល់ក្នុងលំនៅក្នុងស្រុកយើងឥឡូវយើងងាកមកមើលការអ្វីដែលយើងបានកំពុងធ្វើនៅក្នុងស្រុកខ្មែរជាពិសេសនៅក្នុងក្រសួងសាធារណការហើយដែលលោកបានធ្វើតាំងពី2008មកទល់ពេលនេះជិត10ឆ្នាំហើយរង asset management នេះឧបត្ថម្ភជាចម្បងទៅដល់ធនាគារពិភពលោករួមសហការជាមួយនឹង ADB មួយរយៈពេលខ្លីហើយក្រោយមកថារង asset management ហ្នឹងត្រូវបានប្រគល់មកឲ្យធនាគារពិភពលោកទាំងស្រុងអ្វីដែលត្រូវបានហើយកំពុងប្រើប្រាស់នៅក្នុងស្រុកយើងជាពិសេសនៅក្រសួងសាធារណការគឺមានប្រព័ន្ធមួយចំនួនណាក្នុងនោះយើងមាន Road Management Decision Support System មាន Road Management Data Acquisition System Highway Management Delivery Model ឬគេហៅថា DG4 ហើយនឹង Other Tools អរលោកប្រហែលជាមានការវិស័យតាក់ទងជាមួយសាធារណការតែដោយសារថាជារបស់ថ្ងៃនេះយើងនិយាយពី Road Asset Management អញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសូមរំលឹកឡើងវិញថាតើពេលទាំងអស់នោះពីកំពុងបានធ្វើឡើងនៅក្នុង Road Management Decision Support System នៅក្នុងនោះគេបានបង្កើតនៅ database ឬក៏ sub database មួយចំនួនដែលទាក់ទងនឹង road inventory road condition surface treatment structure data traffic data video and other data ខ្ញុំគាត់ទៅចង់យក main data យកមកជជូនឬឯ data មួយចំនួនទៀតត្រូវបាន capture ទៅក្នុង database របស់ក្រសួងសាធារណការនៅក្នុង road measurement data acquisition system ឬក៏ហៅ RODAS យើងមានអាចចាំ the key tool ដែលគេកំពុងត្រូវបានប្រើប្រាស់មានពីរទីមួយគឺ roughness survey equipment អាហ្នឹងខាងណាហើយនឹង detection survey ក្រោយពីយើងបានប្រកាសគម្រោង effective វាព្រោះដោយលោកសម្បត្តិបាននិយាយនៅថាអញ្ចឹងថា data collection ហ្នឹងគឺវាត្រូវការលុយច្រើនហើយគឺថារដ្ឋាភិបាលគាត់ក្នុងការផ្ដល់ជាការទៅទៀនក្នុងការធ្វើជា data collection អញ្ចឹងក្រោយពី RM2 ត្រូវបានចូលជាសត្វជាតរមានថា4ខែចុងក្រោយឆ្នាំ2016តែ4ខែទេគឺយើងធ្វើ roughness survey រហូតដល់បាន 6230 គីឡូសូមជម្រាបថា network នៅក្នុងក្រសួងសាធារណការមានតែ 15000 ទេណាអញ្ចឹងវាស្មើនឹងប្រហែលជា 40% នៃ entire network of the public work អញ្ចឹងក្នុងរយៈពេល4ខែគាត់ cover បាន 40% ហើយបើសិនជាហើយនេះគាត់ធ្វើតែមួយទេនៅក្នុងសប្តាហ៍គាត់មានតែមួយទេsurvey vehicle មួយហើយនឹង FWD តែមួយ one wage deflection តែមួយហើយយើងមើលក្នុងរយៈពេលដូចគ្នាfalling wage deflection survey បានតែ 2400 ថា 2000 វាស្មើនឹងបណ្ដាល10% នៅជាង 10% 18% នេះជាលទ្ធផលត្រួសដែលគាត់ធ្វើនៅក្នុង Road Number 4 យើងធ្វើ Road Number 4 នៅ August 16 អត់ដល់ប្រហែលជាមានដំណងហើយបានធ្វើ Road Number 4 តែថា Road Number 4 គឺជា candidate សម្រាប់ additional financing for Round 2 អញ្ចឹងគាត់រះត្រៀមគាត់ទៅធ្វើ road condition survey Road Number 4 ខ្លួនហើយយើងមើល road នៅក្នុងនេះគឺគេបែងចែកណាគេមាន overall structure on road មាន warning stage មាន severe ហើយមាន sound អញ្ចឹងតាំងពី1គីឡូទី0រហូតដល់គីឡូទី200 គឺភាគច្រើនគឺថាវានៅសោមឡើយទេអញ្ចឹង require government attention នោះទៅមើលនោះទៅមើលនេះមើលលើនេះតើនៅត្រង់ណាខ្លះតែត្រូវជួបតែបើយើងមើលលំអិតវិញណាមើល base វិញមើល middle layer មានមើល lower layer យើងចង់មើលលំអិតអានេះក៏ជា graph មួយប្រាប់ថានេះត្រង់ណាដែលត្រូវ take into account នេះជា deflection ដែលគាត់បានធ្វើហើយចេញពី deflection មកហ្នឹងគឺថាគាត់ធ្វើគាត់បំលែងទៅជា report ទៅព្រោះមិញហ្នឹងបើសិនជាអ្នកធម្មតាមើលមិនដឹងទេតែបើសិនជាគាត់ធ្វើអញ្ចឹងគាត់ប្រាប់ថាត្រង់នេះទីគីឡូម៉ែត្រទី12ណាទីគីឡូម៉ែត្រទី12ដល់គីឡូម៉ែត្រទី13បើថា1គីឡូកន្លះ interval វា100ម៉ែត្រ100ម៉ែត្រ1ទៅ100ម៉ែត្រអញ្ចឹងគាត់យកនេះយកមកមើលគាត់ជំរាបទៅថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំថានេះចន្លោះប៉ុណ្ណឹង warning ហើយបើមិនសញ្ញាជួសជុលបើសញ្ញាថែទាំទេអាចមានកង្វះនេះគាត់តែជាទិន្នន័យខ្លះដែលគាត់ខ្ញុំចង់ជម្រាបជូនព្រោះដូចខ្ញុំបាននិយាយមកអញ្ចឹងគាត់ធ្វើបាន2000ជាងហើយអញ្ចឹងនេះគាត់តែ1គីឡូកន្លះឯងដី2400ដែលគាត់កំពុងធ្វើតាមឯកលើអីតែគាត់កំណត់ថា warning sound severe នេះជា criteria ដែលគាត់កំណត់នៅក្នុងទូរួមសហការជាមួយ expert ណាដែលគាត់ develop the system នោះគាត់ប្រាប់ថាកន្លែង sound គឺមានកន្លែង sound គឺអញ្ចឹងណា overall structure គឺអញ្ចឹងណា500យ៉ាងមកណាមាន surface space rating subbase and subgrade គឺថានៅក្នុងមួយគឺមានប្រភេទទៀត bituminous យ៉ាងម៉េច cemented យ៉ាងម៉េច grade roller យ៉ាងម៉េចគឺគេមានប្រភេទផ្លូវទៅតាមបទដ្ឋានរបស់ក្រសួងសាធារណការឥឡូវយើងងាកមើលតើប្រព័ន្ធគ្រប់គ្រងរបស់សាធារណការយ៉ាងម៉េចដោយលោកសម្បត្តិបាននិយាយមិនស្រួលហើយគឺថាវាមានប្រព័ន្ធវាក្នុងការគ្រប់គ្រងអញ្ចឹងអងទិន្នន័យដែលបញ្ចូលទៅក្នុង system វាមានដូចខ្ញុំបាននិយាយដើមអញ្ចឹងណាវាមាន road inventory condition ឡើងក្នុង database របស់ក្រសួងសាធារណការហើយអ្វីដែលបំលែងទៅជា long term strategic plan ពីព្រោះយើង use HDM4 នេះនិយាយឲ្យត្រង់ទៅគឺជា model សម្រាប់ធ្វើ long term strategic planning យ៉ាងហោចណាស់បានត្រឹម multi years work program វាមិនអាចលំអិតទៅដល់ annual work program ដែលរដ្ឋាភិបាលឬជាពិសេសក្រសួងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចរដ្ឋហេតុគាត់ត្រូវការទេអញ្ចឹងភារកិច្ចរបស់ក្រសួងសាធារណការទៅ work out ទៀតណា annual work program ហើយ HDM4 នោះក៏អាចអនុញ្ញាតឲ្យយើងធ្វើ cost benefit analysis at the project level បានដែរក៏តែ very ad hoc យើងអត់ត្រូវប្រើប្រាស់ទេគឺយើងធ្វើយ៉ាងម៉េចគោលដៅរបស់យើងគឺថាយើងធ្វើឲ្យមាន annual work program សម្រាប់ submit for budgeting នៅក្នុងខែមិថុនារៀងរាល់ឆ្នាំទៅក្រសួងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចហិរញ្ញវត្ថុនេះជាមើលទៅគឺថាជារូបភាពទាំងមូលនៃការគ្រប់គ្រងប្រព័ន្ធផ្លូវថ្នល់នៅក្នុងស្រុកខ្មែរតាមពិតវាមានច្រើនតែគាត់ខ្ញុំចង់លំអិតហើយចង់ច្បាច់យកតែកន្លែងសំខាន់យកមកជម្រាបជូនហើយដើម្បីជាប្រយោជន៍របស់យើងទាំងអស់គ្នានេះជាឧទាហរណ៍មួយនៅក្នុង HDM4 ដែលយើងមានតបថ្ងៃខ្ញុំលើកនេះដោយសារថាវាពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹង road number 4 ដែលយើងកំពុងធ្វើណាឥឡូវនេះទិន្នន័យបានប្រាប់ហើយថាបើសិនជាមិនដាក់លុយណាមិនថែទាំពីឆ្នាំ2017ទេរ៉ាប់ដេសអស់នោះបាត់តាមលោកពុទ្ធបាទមិនហើយរ៉ាប់នេះយ៉ាងម៉េចរ៉ាប់នេះគឺវានឹងកើតណាតែកណាកើហួរ គឺថាម្ដងអត់ទៅយើងខូចចាំតែបើយើងថែមលុយណាថែមលុយនៅក្នុងខែ2018 2019អានោះវាទៅទៀតទៅចឹងរ៉ាស់នេះកណាវាកាន់តែទៀតផ្លូវខ្នងវាកាន់តែល្អបើរ៉ាស់នេះកាន់តែខ្ពស់អានឹងប្រសពវាកាន់តែខូចនេះជាទីហោដែលគាត់ធ្វើនៅខែ September កាលពីឆ្នាំមុនណាកាលពីពីឆ្នាំមុនចឹងវារយៈពេលលោក1ឆ្នាំនេះគ្រាន់តែជាគេហៅការដាស់តឿនការបញ្ជាក់ស្មារតីប្រកាសដឹកនាំថាថ្នាក់ condition ឋានភាពផ្លូវថ្នល់ជាពិសេស particularly នៅក្នុងផ្លូវជាតិលេខ4ណាចន្លោះពេលការលេខ4ណាពេលការលេខ4ហ្នឹងគឺថាពេលការលេខ12បានថាគីឡូម៉ែត្រទីលេខ12ហើយគីឡូម៉ែត្រទី12 170បានន័យថា170ម៉ែត្រអញ្ចឹងចន្លោះផ្លូវហ្នឹងគឺមានស្ថានភាពចឹងហើយគេអាចធ្វើរាល់ section ទាំងអស់បើគេចាប់តាំងណាតើពេលការ13ប្រហែលពេលការ14ប្រហែលពេលការ15ប្រហែលរហូតដល់200ពីព្រោះផ្លូវជាតិលេខ4ចេញពីភ្នំពេញរហូតដល់កោះសោគឺ240អញ្ចឹងគេធ្វើអាចបានគេអាចបានធ្វើបានទាំងអស់នេះជាឧទាហរណ៍ហើយក៏ដូចជាបទពិសោធន៍ដែលសាធារណការគាត់កំពុងធ្វើឥឡូវយើងងាកមើលរឿងនេះជា criteria មួយដែរតើអ្វីដែលគាត់ចាត់ទុកថាជា routine maintenance អ្វីគាត់ចាត់ទុកថាជា resurfacing ហើយ reconstruction ហើយនេះគឺជាប្រភេទផ្លូវនីមួយៗដែលគាត់ classify នេះគឺជា traffic តិចណាចរាចរណ៍តិចចរាចរណ៍មធ្យមហើយចរាចរណ៍ច្រើនក្នុងនោះគាត់កំណត់ថាបើក្រោម 1000 vehicle per day តិចណាហើយបើសិនជាអានេះវាតូចជាង200តិចអញ្ចឹងគេកំណត់អញ្ចឹងដល់ពីចន្លោះពី 1000 traffic ដល់ 5000 គេថានឹងមានពីលើពី 5000 គេថាហ្នឹងច្រើនហើយគេកំណត់ទៅតាមប្រភេទផ្លូវថ្នល់ហ្នឹងគឺដោយសារថា traffic ផងហើយអញ្ចឹងគេមើលបើសិនជាវារ៉ាស់លេសពី1ពី2ដល់6គេ recommend ថាគាត់ជា routine ទេតែបើឡើងពី6ដល់7គេថាហ្នឹងជា resurfacing តែបើក្រមឡើងចុះពី8គេ recommend ឲ្យជា reconstruction ហ្នឹងចំពោះ low traffic ក៏តែនិយម traffic គឺវាដូរនេះបន្តិចទៅដូរគ្នាឡើងនេះគឺជា criteria ដែលគេកំណត់នៅក្នុងសាធារណការដើម្បីជាគេហៅថាផែនការក្នុងការរៀបចំជួសជុលផ្លូវថ្នល់ហើយគេកំណត់ថាតើមួយណា routine មួយណា periodic ហើយមួយណា resurfacing ឬក៏ reconstruction ឥឡូវងាកមកមើលខាងគម្រោងដែល World Bank កំពុងsupport ដូចខ្ញុំបាននិយាយខាងដើមអញ្ចឹងក្រសួងសាធារណការមានតែ one vehicle one survey vehicle ទេហើយ one falling weight ទី collector ទេហើយអានឹងចាស់ទៀតអាយុ10ឆ្នាំហើយអញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវការ upgrade វា upgrade electronic part of existing survey and falling inspection អានឹងចាំបាច់ទេពួកវាចាស់ហើយយើងនឹងជួយទិញនៅ new survey vehicle complete set មកគឺថាតាំងពី video recording តាំងពី GPS positioning ចប់គឺថាយើងទិញដល់គឺកំពុងតែដាក់កញ្ច្រៃហើយនឹង two set of falling weight inspection with two pick up យើងក៏ត្រូវ upgrade road data system ដែលប្រព័ន្ធដែលខ្ញុំបង្ហាញមិញនេះគឺវាចាស់ដែរហើយក៏យើងត្រូវការ enhance វាជាពិសេសបុគ្គលិកដែលធ្វើការនៅទីនោះមានចេញមានចូលអញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវការ training ហើយយើងត្រូវការ upgrade APU GPS software and training ដូចខ្ញុំបាននិយាយខាងដើមគឺថា HTM4 សប្តាហ៍ថ្ងៃបានទឹកប្រើប្រាស់គ្រាន់តែជា strategic planning multi-year work program ឡើងឯងប៉ុន្តែដល់មកធ្វើជា annual work plan មានការខ្វះចន្លោះបន្តិចអញ្ចឹងខាងខ្ញុំនឹងជួយក្រសួងសាធារណការ simplify aging form ធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យវាបានប្រើប្រាស់ហើយរៀបចំទៅ annual work program បានហើយក្នុងប្រព័ន្ធសមត្ថភាព reporting របស់ក្រសួងសាធារណការទាក់ទងទៅរឿង management program ហើយអ្វីដែលជាសំខាន់គឺថា annual work program ត្រូវតែ submit ទៅក្រសួងតែគេក៏ទៅបានជូន 30 every year របស់បញ្ហានេះគឺជាការព្រមព្រៀងគ្នាណារវាងក្រសួងសាធារណការធនាគារពិភពលោកហើយក៏ដូចជាក្រសួងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចហើយនិងរដ្ឋបាលពីព្រោះកន្លងមកឯកសារ submit ទៅសុំថវិកាគឺផ្អែកទៅលើការសន្មត់ការមើលនឹងផ្ទៃការមើលនឹងឬសុំក្នុងពលវាអត់មានលក្ខណៈវិទ្យាសាស្ត្រ scientific proof ថាដឹងវាត្រូវការលុយបណ្ដឹងវា based on លើអីប៉ុន្តែក្រោយពីយើងបង្កើតឬក៏ enhance road asset management នៅក្នុងក្រសួងសាធារណការដោយលោកសម្បត្តិនិយាយចឹងគឺថាលែងមាន debate អីវែងឆ្ងាយទៀតហើយតែទៅលើប្រព័ន្ធដែលយើងមានហើយបែងចែកទៅខេត្តណាប្រមាណខេត្តណាប្រមាណគឺផ្អែកទៅលើប្រព័ន្ធដែលយើងមានស្រាប់ជាពិសេសផ្លូវដែលយើងមាននេះគឺជារ៉ាំដាស់ survey យើងមានឡានមុនឡើងចាស់ហើយវាកាន់តែគ្រប់គ្រងមកយើងត្រូវការជួសជុលវាតែវាហើយរាល់ survey ទាំងអស់គឺភ្ជាប់ជាមួយនឹង satellite ហើយបញ្ជូនទិន្នន័យមក central ដោយ real time អ្នកនៅសៀមរាបអ្នកឡានរសៀមរាបពេញក៏មើលឃើញដល់ព្រះវិហារក៏មើលឃើញឡើងគឺថា tool set នេះគឺថា work enhance ណាអ្នកនៅក្នុងឡានក៏មានទិន្នន័យអ្នកនៅក្រសួងក៏ឃើញណាហើយយើងនឹងចេញអានេះមួយទៀតហើយយើងសង្ឃឹមថានៅ set ទី2នេះគឺយើងអាចធ្វើ roughness survey year round ណា year round ហើយឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំកំពុងតែនិយាយមួយក្រសួងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចនិងវត្ថុធ្វើម៉េចដាក់លុយពីព្រោះយើងសង្ឃឹមថាក្រោយពីរាមជូនចប់ទៅនឹង system នឹងដំណើរការហើយត្រូវការលុយដើម្បីធ្វើ survey ប៉ុន្តែដោយលោកបាននិយាយហ្នឹងគឺថាស្ថិតនៅមួយចំនួនមិនតម្រូវការឲ្យ survey ប្រចាំឆ្នាំទេអាច3ឆ្នាំម្ដងអាច2ឆ្នាំម្ដងsurvey មួយចំនួនត្រូវការជារៀងរាល់ឆ្នាំអញ្ចឹងយើងនឹងពិភាក្សាជាមួយគ្រូសេដ្ឋកិច្ចនិងវត្ថុហើយសួរតាមជាការតើត្រូវការលុយប្រមាណសម្រាប់ធ្វើរោគ survey ប្រចាំឆ្នាំឬក៏3ឆ្នាំម្ដងខ្ញុំមានតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងទេហើយបើសិនមានចំណងសូមសួរហើយសូមអរគុណចំពោះការយកប្រសាសន៍បាទ
So we wanted to open the floor for discussion. Vesna supplement to my presentation by how the system work for National Road under World Bank Finance Road Management System for National Road managed by MPWT, right? So actually, you don't need to have the same sophisticated as what MPWT do for the road managed by MRD. Thanks to the technology, actually World Bank have developed a free app we call Road Lab Pro. Actually, instead of to buy expensive equipment, you just download that app to your mobile phone and then you attach to the car and then you drive along the car, you can also get the roughness index. The accuracy can be 70% or 80% for rural road. It should be enough because we cannot afford to hire consultant to survey for more than 40,000 kilometers. Right? MPWT maybe just 7 or 8,000 may be doable, but for MRD to collect the data of more than 40,000, we have to also can we adjust to the real condition. But what Vesna presented is just to show that how it works for National Road. And also, we also would like to encourage that MRD and MPWT work closely and can learn from each other. And what already there, maybe can adjust to the MRD. But it's not necessary that MRD just do the same with MPWT. But the floor is open for the discussion. Any comment, any questions? Maybe it's too technical. Sorry if it's too technical. But don't worry. We will have more workshop. This just to show the overall picture of the how road management system work, right? During the project implementation, we, as I mentioned, we coordinate with other donor and also ministry to discuss more detail what already developed and building on what already exists to add more necessary data information so that you can analyze. Helike, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say also that the Laos system that was implemented over a number of years was seen as very successful, and it was then later on also adopted by Vietnam. So I was wondering if you somewhat could explain a little bit about the process. I mean, now also at some point started where MID is now, and then perhaps you can explain how long it took and with what kind of help, how were the provincial offices involved, and what did the national level do, and what's the way to get to that result?
Thank you, Helike, for the question. Actually, Vietnam also spent a lot of effort and money to develop road management system.